Cool thing about that is just you felt the energy in the room, the amount of women sitting in there and so passionate about being a leader in their space, whether it was sport, whether it's business, whatever it is. I think that was what's so cool about it. And obviously,
what if I told you that in just 2 minutes, the entire sports world was turned completely upside down? Not on a basketball court where she's already rewritten history, but on a golf course where nobody, and I mean nobody, saw this coming. Caitlyn Clark, the woman who's been...
To me, that's inspirational, whether it, just listening to Caitlyn, her work ethic, it was important to her. And I mean, she's
carrying the WNBA on her back all season. Just did something so shocking, so absolutely unbelievable, that even Tiger Woods himself couldn't find the words. And here's the kicker. While the golf world is losing their minds celebrating her, the WNBA and her so-called rivals have gone...
Yeah, I think I'm just excited, honestly. I'm not a professional golfer by any means, so I think just having fun and getting to be with, two of the best to, probably ever play this game. It's
completely silent. Stick with me, because what just unfolded is about to change everything you thought you knew about greatness. It all started on what was supposed to be just another casual Friday morning at the RSM Classic ProAm. Now, if you don't follow golf, let me paint you a picture. The ProAm is traditionally this laid-back celebrity...
Just starting, her round of golf, if her journey. She's...
I was trying to think of who else maybe could play today, especially in women's sports, that would...
Pretty filled event where the stakes are low and everyone's just there to have a good time. Think of it as the warm-up act before the real show. But the second Caitlyn Clark's name hit that player list, everything changed. And I'm not talking about a little buzz or some extra attention. I'm talking about a full-blown media earthquake that turned a sleepy golf tournament into the most talked-about sporting event of the year.
I'm just kind of ready for the next chapter and a new challenge in my life, but I think the reason I decided to announce it when I did was just to have it.
The moment word got out, social media absolutely exploded. We're talking wildfire levels spread across every platform. Twitter was on fire, Instagram couldn't keep up, and TikTok was going absolutely insane. But here's where it gets real. Fans didn't just show casual interest. They started lining up at the course hours before sunrise. Some people literally drove through the entire night.
We should be paid more, and hopefully that's the case moving forward as the league continues to grow. I think that's something that's probably the most important thing that we're in the room advocating about.
Just for a chance to witness what they knew deep down was going to be historic. The energy wasn't just excitement, it was electric, like everyone collectively understood they were about to see something that would be talked about for generations. And let me tell you about the ticket situation, because this is where you really see the Caitlyn Clark effect in full force. These Pro-Am tickets, which normally cost just $25 and are easy to grab.
I grew up playing the basketball with the boys, so it's always been physical and feisty, and that's what it is, and you got to find a way to hold your own.
Sold out in literal minutes. We're not talking hours, we're talking minutes. And the resale prices? They skyrocketed to levels you'd expect to see at the Masters final round. Think about that for a second. A casual warm-up event with the same ticket demand as one of golf's most prestigious tournaments. Why? Because Caitlyn Clark's name was on that list. When the doors opened and fans started flooding in, the scene was absolutely unprecedented. For the first time in this tournament's entire history, the crowd looked completely different. Instead of the usual golf hats and polo shirts, there was a literal sea of Iowa black and gold jerseys and Indiana fever blue. The vendors were caught completely off guard, selling out of every piece of Caitlyn Clark merchandise before the first group even stepped up to tee off. This wasn't a golf tournament anymore. This was the Caitlyn Clark show, and everyone there knew they were about to witness something special. But here's what's eating at everyone right now. And trust me, this is the part that has social media in an absolute frenzy. While every major sports outlet is covering this historic moment, while cameras are everywhere and the entire golf world is rolling out the red carpet, there's this deafening, uncomfortable silence from one very specific place, the WNBA, the league she just spent an entire season elevating, the league where she shattered rookie records left and right, where she single-handedly drove attendance numbers through the roof. They're saying absolutely nothing. Zero. Zilch. Radio silence. And fans are noticing. Boy, are they noticing. See, this has been the pattern all season long, and now it's impossible to ignore. While Caitlyn was out there proving every single doubter wrong, The league seemed more interested in downplaying her impact than celebrating it. And her rivals, the ones who were so vocal all season with their trash talk and hard fouls, specifically Aya Wilson and Angel Reese, they've got nothing to say now. Not one word. Not one congratulations post. Nothing. And that silence is speaking louder than any words ever could. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for. Her first drive. The entire course fell into this incredible, hushed silence. I'm talking thousands of people going completely quiet, the kind of reverence you only see in the most intense playoff moments. You could literally hear the wind rustling through the grass and birds calling in the distance. All eyes were locked on this young woman in a golf skirt, a basketball superstar holding a driver, about to do something nobody had ever seen before. Caitlyn went through her pre-shot routine with this laser-like focus that seemed to completely block out the massive crowd, the cameras, the pressure, everything. Then she swung. And oh my God, the sound. That crisp, explosive crack of the club connecting with the ball echoed across the course like thunder. The ball launched into this perfect, powerful arc, just cutting through the sky like a white missile with a purpose. And when it landed cleanly beyond the 270-yard mark, the place absolutely erupted. Let me put that in perspective for you. 270 yards is impressive for a seasoned amateur golfer. For someone who's essentially a rookie to the sport, someone whose primary focus has been basketball their entire life, it's borderline ridiculous. The crowd went absolutely insane. Reporters were scrambling for their phones, desperate to break the news first. Camera flashes were going off like 1,000 paparazzi had just shown up. And Tiger Woods, the greatest golfer who ever lived, was standing there with this knowing smile, this look of pure admiration, a silent nod from one GOAT to what might be another. Steph Curry, who knows a thing or two about being great at both basketball and golf, later said it was the best first swing he'd ever seen. Think about the weight of that praise. This is coming from someone who understands what it takes to excel at the highest level in multiple arenas. Almost immediately, Golf Digest and ESPN were flooding the internet with headlines calling her a natural crossover talent, declaring that she just changed golf forever. Forever. But here's where the story takes a turn that's honestly hard to ignore. While the golf world was celebrating, creating memes, making highlight reels, embracing this incredible crossover moment, the basketball world, specifically two very loud voices from it, stayed completely silent. Aya Wilson and Angel Reese, who had been so vocal and pointed throughout the entire WNBA season, didn't post a single word of congratulations anywhere. Not on Twitter, not on Instagram, nowhere. And to everyone watching, this wasn't just some minor oversight or coincidence. This confirmed what fans had been saying all season long. Throughout her rookie year, Caitlyn was subjected to this brutal physical gauntlet. Hard fouls, flagrant fouls, some of which the league actually had to upgrade after reviewing the tape. She was publicly labeled as privileged, like her talent and work ethic somehow didn't count. She became a target for intense personal trash talk on the court. And all the while, the league itself seemed to fail at promoting her absolutely historic, record-shattering season with the enthusiasm it deserved. They kept focusing on the collective rather than acknowledging the individual star power that was bringing in all those new fans and eyeballs. So when this golf triumph happened and that same silence followed, it felt like the final piece of a very telling puzzle. Her success in a completely different sport, where her pure athleticism was undeniable to everyone watching, became the ultimate proof of her unique, transcendent stardom. A stardom that some of her peers, and even parts of the league itself, seemed either unwilling or unable to fully embrace. Meanwhile, the reception from the golf community couldn't have been more different. And honestly, it's creating this tale of two sports that's impossible to ignore. While she was being treated like an outsider in basketball, someone who needed to be put in her place and humbled, she was being welcomed as absolute royalty on the golf course. Nelly Korda, the #1 female golfer in the entire world, personally walked up to Caitlyn on the practice range and told her, "You're welcome here. You belong here." Let that sink in for a second. The best in the sport immediately recognized greatness and chose to embrace it. Maria Fassi, another top player, told reporters that Caitlyn's energy is pure. that she brings a fire the sport has been missing. This wasn't just polite lip service or good PR. This was a genuine, strategic recognition of her generational star power and the absolutely massive potential she has to grow the game of golf. The golf world, which is often seen as traditional and stuck in its ways, immediately understood the business tsunami she could bring. They saw that 1,200% spike in ticket demand and knew that even capturing a fraction of Caitlyn's millions of dedicated fans could transform their sport. More merchandise sales, higher broadcast ratings, bigger future events. They saw it all and rolled out the red carpet without hesitation. But the true history-making moment was still ahead. The one that would cement this day in sports folklore forever. It happened on hole 7, a challenging, lengthy par with a narrow fairway and a well-guarded green. This is the kind of hole that gives seasoned PGA pros trouble, often leading to bogeys or worse. The crowd, still buzzing from her incredible opening drive, once again fell into this anticipatory silence. You could feel the pressure mounting with every step she took toward her ball. Caitlyn, displaying this almost supernatural calm, lined up her shot, her eyes locked on a target in the distance. She took this deep, visible breath, a moment of pure concentration, and then she swung. The contact was absolutely pure. The ball soared with this flawless, powerful trajectory that had people gasping as it flew. It landed on the front of the green with this gentle thud, and then something magical happened. It started rolling, and rolling, and rolling, tracking directly toward the pin like it was guided by some invisible force, finally stopping mere inches from the cup. A tap-in birdie that felt more like an eagle. The crowd's gasps transformed into this thunderous roar of pure disbelief and admiration. When she finished her round, the scoreboard told a story that seemed almost impossible to believe. 13 under par. Caitlyn Clark hadn't just played well or had a good day. She had absolutely shattered the previous Pro-Am record, posting a number that would have been competitive in the actual main tournament. The business impact was instantly quantifiable. Event organizers revealed that demand for those Pro-Am tickets had exploded by 1,200% solely because of her. And Tiger Woods, analyzing the shot, was heard calling it one of the cleanest, most confident swings he'd ever seen from a non-pro. The ultimate seal of approval from the man who literally redefined golf. The public narrative around Caitlyn Clark shifted permanently in that moment. Social media didn't just buzz, it exploded into a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Caitlyn Clark Golf was trending number 1 worldwide on Twitter. Instagram and TikTok were flooded with clips of her swing, the crowd reactions, that near-miraculous putt. Memes comparing her to iconic multi-sport athletes like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders went viral. Sports analysts on every debate show had to completely pivot from their planned topics to discuss what this meant for the future of athletics itself. And here's the detail that had fans going absolutely nuclear. On that exact same day, while Caitlyn was making history, Aya Wilson posted an Instagram story. But it wasn't about Caitlyn's achievement. It was a carefully curated brand collaboration post with zero mention of what was happening in the sports world. The contrast couldn't have been more stark or more damning. While one woman was being celebrated globally as a generational talent, the other was doing routine influencer marketing like it was just another Thursday. The comments flooded in immediately. Why can't you be happy for her? Caitlyn's making history, and you're silent. The sentiment cut deep. For the first time all season, public opinion was decisively, overwhelmingly in Caitlyn's favor. The narrative completely flipped. This wasn't about a rookie being hazed anymore. This was about a global phenomenon being validated outside the arena she was supposedly confined to. The golf course became an impartial judge, and its verdict was crystal clear. Caitlyn Clark's talent is so immense it cannot be contained by a single sport. What we're witnessing here goes far beyond an athlete having a good day in a different sport. We're watching the birth of a completely new archetype. Caitlyn Clark isn't just a basketball player anymore. She's transcended that label to become a cultural force, a movement all on her own. She's systematically rewriting the rules of what a female athlete can be, and, more importantly, what she's allowed to be. For decades, female athletes were pressured to specialize, to be grateful for their lane and stay in it. With a single swing of a golf club, Caitlyn didn't just hit a ball. She swung open a massive door for every young girl who's ever been told to stay in your lane, to focus on one thing, to not make waves. The questions now are endless and thrilling. Will she pursue formal golf training in the off-season? Could we see her accept a sponsor's exemption for an LPGA event that would shatter television records? If she conquered 2 sports this decisively, what's stopping her from trying a third? Every brand, every league, every marketer is watching and seeing infinite potential. The WNBA's handling of her rookie season will now be scrutinized even more harshly. Was their reluctance to fully embrace her stardom a historic miscalculation? The contrast between her treatment at home and her royal welcome in golf will be debated for years as a cautionary tale about whether institutions are truly ready for a superstar of this magnitude. One thing is absolutely certain. The world is only beginning to see what Caitlyn Clark is capable of. This golf performance wasn't an ending. It was a revelation, a proof of concept. If this record-breaking performance was just her first swing, the future she's building is going to be absolutely breathtaking. We're on the verge of a new era where an athlete's influence ripples outward, lifts entire industries, and redefines what's possible. She stands at the crossroads of sports, culture, and business, and every single path forward looks revolutionary. The next chapter is coming, and trust me, you do not want to miss it.